Hello everyone and welcome to the Edmonds Racing Preview Show. Trent's holding the fort for the team today off the back of another winning week, and Boccariva, stylish winner here on the home track, and good to see you had a work experience student, little Miss P, helping you on the day and celebrating with the owners afterwards.
Yes. Did you see her cheering at home on the outside fence? Maybe not. But
I didn't see her cheering, but I saw her making a mess of herself in the winning owners room afterwards.
Yeah. Didn't she ever? The sweets, holy heck! But it was good. And she's, even though she's only very, very young, she's got a keen interest in the horses and is very passionate. She cheers them home. I think she's watched me cheering them home on the TV on occasion, because when they come up the running, she starts going Burko. So it was good.
And happy owners. It was a good win, wasn't it? Like, very strong.
Yeah, Callow rode well again. Obviously, it wasn't a very strong field, and we've got a good opinion of her, so we wanted to see her do that. And she won with good authority. He basically was hands and heels up the running, so that was really good. And she's gone out for a little break now, hopefully to target sort of the Magic Millions Carnival, one of the 2 weeks, or both weeks if we can. And she has enough ability to be there. It's just going to be about lifting her rating and winning another race or two on the way through.
To make sure you get into that race on Wave Day.
Correct.
Very good. Well, good to see the King also celebrating in the owners' room afterwards, as has become customary.
Yeah, that's right. Every time he's finished, doesn't have a ride after hours, he comes in for a celebratory champagne.
Man of the people.
Yeah.
Man of the people. And also, quickly touching on some good performers during the week. Amand went awfully close, and Storm the Fortress was brave also. First up, good run.
Storm the Fortress, good. Hasn't had a start since December 31st, New Year's Eve, in the Vaux Rogue. So he was good. It's going to tidy up in the coat a lot, which he needed to, and a little bit ring rusty. The other horse had it fairly easy in front and then zipped home in sort of low 33, so hard to run down even if you're on their back. Anyway, he'll keep for another day. We'll win a race with him. He'll get back to Saturday grade and hopefully a little better in the near future. Amand, what do you say? God,
that hurt.
One that got away. He was going to win easily, and then a lack of a few things, he didn't win. So anyway, didn't get the job done, unfortunately, but he's going good. So while the result wasn't there, he still raced well. So what can you do? Live to fight another day, and we move on.
Yep, knocking on the door, hopefully, next start. All right, let's get into the preview here on the home track. 3 runners representing. Corfe Castle kicks things off. He's second up here after racing in pretty strong races last campaign. Saturday grade in the Duel,
yes,
where he wasn't disgraced, was he? And this looks a pretty good race for him.
It certainly does. He's only a small horse with a big amount of weight, 61 kilos, but he's a track and trip winner on the poly track. Sorry.
Yeah, so that was the first meeting, or one of the early meetings in January.
I think it was the second meeting, yeah. And he got the job done, so that was great. And it looks pretty similar tomorrow, even though he's got a big weight. If he doesn't lead, he won't be far off them. You'd think Data Patch and another couple would want to go and sort of contest the lead, and we won't be far off stalking and getting him down at the right time, hopefully. He's in good form. He was in desperate need of the run at the Sunny Coast the other day. It was quite an odd one. He went right back, loomed like he was going to let down and win, and probably run out of puff. Did run out of puff for sure. He needed the run desperately. So has tightened right up. Looks super and is suited by this. Even with a big weight for a small horse, I think it's a good opportunity to win a race, get some confidence back with him. Callow obviously a good strong rider, which suits, and looks to be going particularly well. So they'd have to be going pretty sharp to beat him.
Yeah, sounds like the Lucky Clover team colours might be in the finish there with Corfe Castle. All right, Mafaro makes her second start for the stable. What did you make of her first up run, and can she improve here?
Filly that's had sort of attitude problems all the way through and not been so straightforward. First up run, I don't think was as bad as it looks, and she's, for one reason or another, she's not carried a great deal of condition this time around, and she still looks a bit that way. However, she's put weight on since her previous run. She looks great now, and she's actually been eating. She never used to sort of have a crack in the feed bin this preparation until she had that run. So it might have just brought her on a bit and stoked her up, and she's been eating really well. So she's done well. Up to 1540, no problems. Obviously trained on the poly track, no problem there. Her last run, we wanted to ride her steady from a bad barrier. She jumped too well, and then Ryan unfortunately had to just really wrestle her a bit to try and come back. He ended up 3 wide, then going forward, nothing was taking him into the race. So I think it was a bit of a forget. I'm not going there saying that she's going to go and blouse them, but I expect to see a much improved performance just on how she's been working at home. Her work's always been solid, but attitude and sort of application of things has let her down. So while I'm not, cutting my leg off to say that she's going to go there and smack them, expecting a much improved performance, I'd be disappointed in that quality of race that if she couldn't at least run a place. It looks like a perfect race for her. Soft draw, home track, up in journey, and has done absolutely super since her last run.
Okay, pretty good insight there, and obviously prices aren't out at the time of recording, but you'd think based on the first run you might get an each way.
Based on the first run, she'll be big odds, and she might be worth a few shekels.
Yeah, okay.
At odds each way.
All right. Okay, and the final run on the home track is Unzagar, who's been looking out for a trip. You mentioned that a few times, and now gets it 1900, and last run was good.
Yep, he was good. I suppose when you go back and look at the replay, I would have liked him to have sort of stuck on and finished like half a length into third, rather than weakening a little bit and finishing third, beating a length and a half. But when you look at the replay, all of the on-speed runners stopped, and he was the only one that sort of kept going. I went up there that day, wanted to make use. It was a $50,000 race. I wanted to make use of the barrier. In hindsight, we probably should have just let him be in his comfort zone, get down the middle of the track and build into the race, and he was made use of early, but that was instructions. That's what we asked Michael to do, and that probably took his finish away. Stepping up in journey, good, plus poly track, no problems, and it just looks a nice race for him. Hopefully he can carry that weight and we can get the job done. If he doesn't, then we go further somewhere else, probably back on turf, but he looks really good. He's been screaming out for this trip, and I suppose his last run in good grade was there for all to see. He raced well, so he's going well, and we just need to see him do it now. Same sort of thing as Mafaro. No huge amount of confidence because he hasn't had a win for a while, but I think we've placed him well to try and break the duck tomorrow.
Yeah, well, all three look well placed heading into the weekend. Yep. So that's the home track. The weekend extends out to Monday at Ipswich, though. The rescheduled meeting from Thursday.
We were on the float.
Oh, you got on the float. Yeah. Oh, that's always good, isn't it?
But literally, we went around the block. I was about to put my head down for a snooze.
It was a trial run for the horses.
Yeah, pretty much. I was about to put my head down for a sleep, and then
you got the message.
I checked my phone. I wasn't going to, and I looked and went, oh, well, we better turn around. Went around, and that was that. So
obviously the track needs a few extra days and hoping all is good by Monday.
Yeah.
Where you've got Bassack Lane dropping back from midweek Metro Company and was a winner 2 starts back. Looks well placed up to the 1350.
I think he can win. Even though he got beaten sort of nearly 6 lengths the other day, missed the kick, which for a horse like him is not the way forward. He's got to be really roused out of the gates and made do things, as when he won his maiden here and when he won a trial at Bow Desert. If he gets back in behind them, he does nothing. He was off the bridle. He never touched the bit the whole way. If he can bounce out and go bang, he can win. I think he's going well enough. And that last start at Doomben, as I said, even though he got beaten a fair way, he made good ground late. Once he sort of got out from behind horses and out of the kickback, last 50 or 60 metres of his race were strong, so that all bodes well. Good race for him. Horse of Pat Duff's looks like it's the only other speed influence, and if it wants to go silly, we'll sit outside or just off it and hopefully get it down late. If not, we're bang straight to the lead as he did here at the Gold Coast and run him into the ground. He's going well.
Okay, on speed and hopefully give a sight.
Forget the last effort. Yep.
around the tight Ipswich track.
10 metres out the rail too, so
There you go.
straight the front.
Should suit on-pace horses.
Sure will.
Okay, and then the other runner's Divine Courage, who also drops back from midweek metro level, and the 1350 looks like it'll suit as well.
Suitable. As we've mentioned a fair few times about this fella, very naughty boy in the barriers, does things wrong. Last start from memory, he begun okay and then just didn't muster speed. Up to 1350 soft gate is a plus. Rail out 10 metres is not a plus, because if he makes a mistake, he's going to get too far back in the ruck and we might be in a bit of strife. But stepping up to 1350, now he's starting to warm up. He's had 2 runs. I thought his last run was solid enough without being outstanding, and he's ready.
And in the curly colours.
In the
Magpies.
infamous Collingwood Sims. I was going to call him famous, but no.
Infamous.
I can't stoop that low.
It could be an omen depending on what happens over the weekend.
Yeah.
All right, well, they're the 5 runners. Before we get to a best bet, let's just quickly, topic of the week. We don't have Tobe to sort of give either a differing
ramble
opinion.
on.
Yeah, to ramble on. He's
Sorry.
not here, so shout out to you, Tobe.
Kicking him when he's down.
There's been a bit of talk during the week about Everest Day, Everest/Guineas Day, October 14. That's the biggest or the best day on the calendar now. What are we thinking? There's obviously differing points of view if you're probably a young or more traditional race goer.
The Everest is like, it's what it's done in, I think Hootson ran in the first edition in 2017. What it's done since then, and the crowds and you know, Sweet Caroline and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's brought young people to the races. Has it brought back the crowds for 52 weeks of the year? Maybe not. But that day in itself, but I think that's more of a racing problem anyway. They come for the big days, but on the smaller days, you know, they can watch it at home because it is an expensive day out. Is it the best racing day on the calendar, being Guineas Day and Everest Day? I still like the Cox Plate Day and the Cox Plate Carnival. Like years gone by, you had the end of the spring in Sydney was Epsom Flight Stakes, Spring Champion.
Yeah, first weekend in October.
Metropolitan, right?
Yep.
And the Breeders' Plate Gimcrack. That was always first Saturday in October. These days there's so many big races, it's hard to keep up with them all. I think the Spring Champion's gone back to 2 weeks after Everest. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to quantify. I really enjoy sort of the tradition of stuff. And while I know that the Everest is obviously gaining traction rapidly, I'm still a traditionalist, which I like the Cox Plate. Like, that's one of the races that we've never obviously had a runner in, but you stand there watching and mull around behind the barriers and you get shivers down your spine.
Yep.
Bit of nervousness watching it, and you don't even have a runner, you know what I mean? So for me, I'm a traditionalist. I like all that kind of stuff. I like Derby Day, but Cox Plate Carnival is my favourite because I like Moonee Valley as well.
Yeah, I love Derby Day, and what's wrong with good old Magic Millions Day here at the Gold Coast? 11 races this year too on the program for Millions Day, so that's going to be a cracker.
Won't want to rain. No, I'm joking.
All right, that's the topic of the week. Toby can send through his views. Also looking for a tip from him, so we'll throw that up on the screen. But what's your home ground best bet?
Corfe Castle. I think that'll be both of ours, to be fair. Corfe Castle, we've taken the blinkers off him. We're trying to make things happen, as you mentioned previously, in those bigger races, the better style of races. So through the set of blinkers on him, whether he needs them or not too sure. I suppose we'll find out tomorrow back in grade, but he looks the testing material and be disappointed if he doesn't get the job done.
Okay, and what about around the grounds?
I'm sticking fat. Militarised was really good the other day from an unwinnable position. Soft barrier, good speed, wins up to 1400 wins.
Okay, I like how you stick. You're sticking with King of Sparta, you're sticking with Militarised.
King of Sparta.
You're very loyal tipster.
King of Sparta. Shouldn't hit a one. Oh, yeah. Anyway, yeah, no, yeah. Well, it ran well first up, and was a drifter in the market. Obviously, wasn't quite ready, but it'll be ready for tomorrow, being a Group 1 up to 1400, and it's a weird prep with Shinzo, unless they're just all eggs in the one basket, sort of using this as a really. It's funny to say using a Group 1 as a tighten-up run,
yeah,
but using it as a fitness run towards an Everest in a couple of weeks' time. I just don't see it winning first up when the others have had a run or multiple runs and it's drawn wide. Happy to be wrong, but I'm sticking with Militarise at the 6 buckers.
Sticking with Militarise, and we should mention the tally also. We'll throw that up on the screen. You backed Boccarella last week, so that kicked you further in front. Trent 984, Toby 322.
Wow.
All right. You're flying, yeah, exactly. You're out in front, and sounds like a good weekend. So, there's 5 runners through to Monday, 5 runners and all have claims.
All
so.
in with the chart. So let's hope, and everyone enjoy the racing.
Good luck. Have a great weekend, everyone.